What's going on, guys? Bojo672 coming to you guys with a video right now. So I want to go over the Eagles versus Jacksonville Jaguars, week 2 of the preseason. The report is that Nick Foles will not be playing, and most likely Carson Wentz will not be playing at all, or the rest of these starters. Maybe a couple just because they have to, just because of just how many people are going to be sitting out. Want to go over some of the players that I'm going to be looking out for tomorrow night, and it's going to be some names that you're going to recognize, and there's going to be some names that, you know what, you're going to say, you know what, we should look at these guys because it's very important. Some of these are going to be very obvious, so I just want to go over my perspective, my opinion of what I want to look out for tomorrow night. First, at running back, Miles Sanders. Okay, I don't know if Miles Sanders is going to play. I'm hoping that he plays this game. There was nothing said about him not playing at all, or these other starters, of course, but it's really under the radar. But I hope Miles Sanders just gets more carries in this game. I hope that he actually plays. He's 100% healthy. He's doing really well. 3 carries was just not enough, and the offensive line didn't even block for him, barely. So he literally had nowhere to run. He really couldn't showcase anything. He couldn't showcase a damn thing last Thursday against the Titans. And I'm hoping to see more from him tomorrow night. The most important to me right now, defensive end. You got Josh Sweat. You got Deshaun Hall. You have Kasim Edebali. Okay. You have Eli Harold that we acquired from the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be a very good competition. Now, Deshaun Hall's already shown that he can get to the quarterback. He can at least get pressure. Almost stripped the quarterback, last week. Got through a block and put one hand over the offensive lineman and almost got there. So Deshaun Hall is showing a lot of good things. Josh Sweat was in the game for a long time, and he was getting some pressure here and there. Josh Sweat was actually showing some promise last game, getting some pressure. A tackle or two behind the backfield and getting some pressure. And then there were some times he was just stringing, with the tackle and not really doing too much. But he was in a whole entire game. He hasn't had that many reps in a while, and the Eagles put him there for that reason. Okay, Kasim Edebali is just a 29-year-old vet that's been on a few teams, and we brought him in here just to see what he could do, and he really didn't do much last week. I don't really see him making the team at all. I'm really looking at Deshaun Hall, Josh Sweat. Defensive end for the 4th and 5th spots at defensive end, very important. And then you have Sharif Miller as well, that I forgot to mention as well. Sharif Miller is another guy that was getting good pressure, and we just got to see where it goes. A lot of competition, a lot of things going on. Defensive end is going to be one position I'm going to be looking out for tomorrow night. Andre Dillard, Big V, and Jordan Mailata. Now, we all know Big V's playing right guard. Andre Dillard is the left tackle, of course, and you have Jordan Mailata playing right tackle, okay? So a lot of good things with this offensive line. And there has been rumors that Big V, Halapuli Vaitai, has multiple teams after him in some trade rumors. The Eagles shouldn't be pulling the trigger on that unless it's very satisfying, but at this point, you need the depth right now. Big V was with us during the Super Bowl year after Jason Peters went down week 4 or 5, and he did a really good job. But he needs the reps. When he didn't have the reps last year, he sucked, unfortunately. And Andre Dillard, this week has had a really tough practice. His emotions have got the best of him, but he plays with a lot of passion, and he's a real angry, dirty-ass player when he's on the field. When he puts that helmet on, he's playing. I love his mentality. I just love how nasty he is when he puts that helmet on. And he doesn't back down for nobody, okay? Very excited to see Andre Dillard and just see what more he brings to the table. And, hey, if the Jaguars are starting their front defensive line, this is a good test for our offensive line right now that's going to be in, because you're going to have Stephen Wisniewski at center. You're going to have Big V at right guard. You're going to have Jordan Mailata at 6'8", 350 pounds. A lot of people, he had over 50 snaps in the Titans game last week. Did pretty damn good, okay? He made a few mistakes, but overall he had a pretty decent night, okay? I already knew he screwed up a few times on a few plays, but a lot of people are excited about him. I mean, at 6'8", 350 pounds, you cannot go wrong with this guy. And you could have these few guys in here for multiple years to come. And this offensive line, you could have a brand new offensive line ready when Lane Johnson retires, or when Jason Peters leaves next year. I mean, you really don't know. But at this point, this is a very good offensive line, and they're getting a lot of reps, and that's a really good thing. Maybe some of these starters, don't need to play. Brandon Brooks doesn't need to play. Jason Kelsey, all these guys don't need to play at all. You put these guys in, and then when they get, when they need to get playing time, you know what? It's going to show because they got the reps. Linebackers, L.J. Fort and Nate Gary. Okay, Nate Gary and L.J. Fort. Kevin Fajol, the linebacker coach, was saying that, the linebacker group right now is still not together. There's still a work in progress right now, but I'm not worried about until the first week of preseason. Nigel Bradham's out with a little injury. He'll be back week 1. Zach Brown will get maybe a shot or two. Maybe he just sits out. Nate Gary is something to prove. He made a couple good tackles last week. I think he got beat in coverage. I think he couldn't cover somebody. I think the safety was supposed to be behind him or whatnot. He gave up a touchdown. I think L.J. Fort, too, gave up a touchdown. But L.J. Fort is all over the field. I love L.J. Fort. He's an upcoming Eagle that I really am excited to see this year. I'm a big L.J. Fort fan. Huge L.J. Fort fan. He's always in the right spot at the right time, making tackles. Always there, always in the spot. I think he gave up a touchdown as well. Last week. But, it's the first game, it's the first preseason game. The guys are still, you don't have the starting safeties behind you. You know what I mean? Yeah, a guy can't do it all by himself. You got to have everything that's good around you. But it's preseason. You're going to have some rookies. You're going to have some no-name guys. You're just going to have some different kind of people. Undrafted, you never really know. So very excited about those two guys. So I'm going to be looking out for them tomorrow night. Jonathan Cyprien and DeAndre Hall, the two safeties I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. DeAndre Hall was battling a little bit of an injury, so hopefully he plays. We all know that Blake Countess was released. We had to go sign a defensive tackle in Aziz Shitu. We had to go sign him. So Blake Countess is gone. Hamstring injury, couldn't do much, and he got hurt, unfortunately. But I have a feeling that Blake Countess will be back down the road. You never really know at this point. Jonathan Cyprien has a huge chance to make this roster. I think Blake Countess was in front of Cyprien, but with the injury that he does have and Cyprien jumping in, and Cyprien made some good plays in last week's game, like probably 2 or 3 plays when he was really involved, and he actually deflected a pass, which was really good. So Cyprien's he's a guy that's finally saying to himself, I'm being the player that I once was. And, he was finally saying he thinks that he's coming back into his groove as a safety and being a player that he should be. And, last year with the torn ACL, you know what happens to players that lose a whole year? It's like they have to fight their way back to get back to the player that they are. And I think Jonathan Cyprien has a huge chance to make this roster, and a lot of experience is behind that. Marken Michel, Mac Hollins, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, okay? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, I want to see more from him. I want to see a lot more. He had a few first down catches, and then that first ball that Sudfeld threw to him last week, almost one-handed, almost had it. But the athleticism, and he's only going to get better. I think by next year he'll be at full form, but I think right now he's getting a lot. I think he's getting used to the NFL, the game of the NFL, and doing a really good job. And Mac Hollins, after having the groin injury, missing a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, having another injury after this, during the training camp before the first game of preseason, and now he's getting reps. He's been getting reps with the first team this past week, so I'm expecting Mac Hollins to at least show up a little bit. I want to see how fast he is. I want to see how he is after he catches the ball. And just see how he is. He's just a science project right now, just to see where he is and see what happens. Marken Michel, a CFL player that beat Adoree Jackson on a 75-yard touchdown last week against the Titans in the first preseason game. Marken Michel's got that deep speed. It's not Deshaun Jackson speed, but it's deep speed that we need if somebody goes down. That we need we need a guy in the future, because Deshaun's only going to be here for what? He's on a 3-year contract right now. He wants to retire probably after that. You're going to want a guy here that's got that deep speed, unless, the Eagles, unless something else happens in a matter of a year or two. But you know what? We needed it. It's nice to have another deep threat, someone that has another pair of legs. And, he's done a really good job. Marken Michel did a really good job. It was one play, whoop-de-doo, but you know what? He was praying for that moment. He was so happy when it happened. And you know what? It's a really good thing. It's a really good thing, and I was really happy for him. He was so happy when he caught the touchdown. He got on the floor, and he was like, he was hitting the ground. He was just so emotional. You could see it in his face. So other than that, guys, that's really it. Those are the players I'm going to be watching. We could probably mention a whole bunch of other guys too. You could probably mention TJ Edwards on the field as well. He made a good tackle or two last week at linebacker. You could make the case for a lot of guys. But as of right now, these are the guys I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Let me know in the comment section below which player are you going to be really looking at the most, and just name me a bunch of people that you're going to be looking at in tomorrow night's game. And that's really it. So don't forget, tomorrow at 2 p.m. I will be live streaming. I guess a preview of this matchup for tomorrow night. So don't miss it. 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll probably invite people and whatnot. So other than that, guys, I'll see you guys later. Shit's going up. Fly, fly.